For decades, the bond between Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed was wrapped in laughter, music, and on-screen chemistry that felt effortless. Together, they helped define an era of Hollywood that didn't take itself too seriously, where charm mattered more than polish, and friendships spilled naturally from the screen into real life. Fans believed they knew the story. Two Southern icons, laughing their way through fame. But the truth behind their relationship was far more complicated and far more emotional than anyone realized. For years, Burt Reynolds avoided speaking openly about Jerry Reed. Not in interviews. Not in memoirs. Not even when pressed by journalists who sensed there was more beneath the surface. The silence wasn't accidental. It was personal. And now, at last, Burt Reynolds has finally broken that silence. What he revealed caught longtime fans off guard. Behind the jokes and the legendary collaborations were unspoken tensions. Deep loyalty and regrets Burt carried far longer than anyone knew. Jerry Reed wasn't just a co-star or musical partner, he was family. And like many deep friendships, theirs was shaped not only by joy, but by misunderstandings that went unresolved far too long. Burt's words exposed the side of fame rarely discussed. How success can strain even the strongest bonds. How pride can turn distance into silence. And how time has a way of taking away chances to say what truly matters. There were moments Burt wishes he had handled differently. Calls he wishes he had returned. Words he wishes he had said while Jerry was still alive to hear them. For fans who grew up watching them together, this revelation reframes everything: the laughter, the chemistry, even the moments that now feel bittersweet in retrospect. Burt Reynolds' reflection isn't about drama or scandal. It's about loss, respect, and the painful realization that some truths come too late. As Burt finally opens up about Jerry Reed, one thing becomes clear: this isn't just a Hollywood story. It's a human one. And once you hear what Burt had been holding back all these years, the legacy of their friendship will never look the same again. For much of his life, Burt Reynolds was known as a man who talked easily about movies, fame, love, and laughter. But when it came to Jerry Reed, he stayed unusually quiet. Fans noticed it over the years. When interviews drifted toward Reed's name, Burt often smiled, changed the subject, or gave a short answer that felt carefully guarded. It wasn't avoidance born of indifference. It was silence born of memory and of things left unsaid. Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed didn't start as equals in Hollywood. Burt was the rising actor with movie star looks. Jerry was the gifted musician whose talent didn't fit neatly into any box. What bonded them immediately wasn't ambition, it was temperament. Both were Southern, both were funny, and both distrusted pretension. Their connection was instant and effortless, built on shared humor and a deep appreciation for authenticity. When they appeared together on screen, especially in films like Smokey and the Bandit, audiences sensed something real. Their chemistry wasn't scripted, it was lived in. Off camera, they talked for hours, joked relentlessly, and leaned on each other in an industry that rarely rewarded loyalty. Jerry's music gave Burt's films a soul, while Burt's stardom gave Jerry a stage that expanded his reach. They didn't just work together. They trusted each other, but success has a way of stretching relationships in quiet, damaging ways. As Burt's fame exploded, his world became louder, faster, and more demanding. Jerry's career followed a different rhythm, one rooted in music, touring, and creative control. While Burt was navigating Hollywood expectations, Jerry remained fiercely independent, often walking away from opportunities that didn't feel authentic. That difference in pace created small gaps. At first they went unnoticed. Burt later admitted that during those years, he assumed their bond was unbreakable, that it didn't require maintenance. Calls went unanswered. Visits were postponed. Not out of intent, but out of assumption. Fame, Burt would later reflect, convinces you that there's more time. And that belief can be cruelly wrong. There were moments when Jerry felt overlooked, not professionally, but personally. He never confronted Burt directly. But that wasn't Jerry's way. Instead, he poured emotion into music, subtle and honest, leaving traces of feeling in lyrics rather than conversation. Burt, consumed by his own pressures, didn't recognize the warning signs at the time. As years passed, their interactions became less frequent. When they did cross paths, the warmth was still there, but something fragile had settled beneath it. Both men sensed it. Neither knew how to address it without risking what they still had. Silence felt safer than honesty. Then time intervened. Jerry Reed's death hit Burt Reynolds harder than he ever expected or admitted publicly. It wasn't just grief. It was regret layered on respect. Burt realized that everything he'd assumed would be said someday no longer had a future. Someday had ended. For years afterward, Burt carried that weight quietly. He didn't talk about Jerry because words felt inadequate. How do you explain a friendship that defined parts of your life and a distance you never meant to create? How do you honor someone without exposing your own failures as a friend? Breaking his silence wasn't about confession. It was about acknowledgement. Burt eventually understood that avoiding the story didn't protect Jerry's legacy, it simplified it. Their friendship wasn't perfect, but it was real. And like many real relationships, it was shaped by love, pride, missed signals, and timing that didn't always cooperate. This of Burt Reynolds' life is not about blame. It's about realizing that the people who know you best don't stay forever, and that sometimes success costs more than anyone warns you it will. What Burt would finally reveal about Jerry Reed isn't scandalous. It's something far rarer in Hollywood, honesty that arrives late, but still matters. Burt Reynolds' relationship with Jerry Reed was never simple. Despite their shared fame and collaborations that brought them both into the spotlight. Behind the charm and camaraderie that audiences witnessed in films like Smokey and the Bandit, there existed a dynamic shaped by personality clashes, creative differences, and the pressures of Hollywood life. Burt, known for his larger-than-life persona and dedication to his craft, often found himself at odds with Reed's equally strong personality and unique approach to performance. Their working relationship was initially marked by mutual respect, fueled by a recognition of each other's talent. Burt admired Reed's musical abilities and comedic timing, while Reed respected Burt's on-screen charisma and dedication. Together, they created iconic moments that remain unforgettable in cinema history. However, as their careers evolved, tensions began to emerge. Differences in creative vision often led to disagreements on set, with both men holding firm to their perspectives on how a scene should be executed or how a character should be portrayed. These conflicts, while sometimes heated, reflected their commitment to quality and their desire to leave a lasting impact on audiences. Off camera, the pressures of fame and personal life further complicated their relationship. Both men navigated the intense scrutiny of Hollywood, with public expectations and media attention amplifying even minor disagreements. Burt, who had always been candid about his experiences in the industry, noted that the relentless demands of production schedules, promotional obligations, and the competitive nature of Hollywood created an environment where conflicts could easily arise. For Reed, balancing his music career with acting added additional strain, requiring constant negotiation of priorities and time commitments. Despite these challenges, Burt Reynolds emphasizes that the foundation of their bond was mutual admiration. Their arguments, while publicized at times, were often the product of passionate engagement with their work rather than personal animosity. Burt recalls moments of camaraderie and humor that punctuated their collaboration, instances that demonstrated the genuine connection beneath the professional friction. In interviews, he often highlighted Reed's generosity, talent, and dedication, underscoring that any conflicts were rooted in respect rather than dislike. Reed's untimely passing brought reflection and clarity for Burt. Speaking candidly, he shared how their complicated friendship had shaped both their careers and personal growth. Burt acknowledged that navigating strong personalities in Hollywood required patience, empathy, and sometimes compromise. While there were disagreements, the shared experiences, successes, and challenges they faced together left an enduring mark on him, both as a collaborator and as a friend. Looking back, Burt Reynolds' revelations about Jerry Reed provide a nuanced perspective on their partnership. It wasn't just a story of conflict or collaboration. It was a testament to the complexities of working closely with another creative force in the high-stakes environment of Hollywood. Their journey together reflects the delicate balance between personal identity, professional ambition, and the need for mutual respect, even amid disagreements. Ultimately, Burt's reflections remind audiences that iconic collaborations are rarely seamless. Behind the laughter, stunts, and memorable performances lies a story of negotiation, compromise, and human connection. The bond between Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed was multifaceted, shaped by talent, temperament, and shared experiences that transcended the occasional conflict. By finally breaking his silence, Burt offers fans a candid glimpse into the realities of friendship, artistry, and professional partner. Burt often recalls how Reed's improvisational approach to both music and acting could clash with the structured demands of film production. Reed, with his background as a musician and performer, had a natural instinct for timing and humor, which sometimes diverged from the director's vision or the carefully choreographed stunts. Burt, committed to ensuring the success of the production and protecting the overall narrative, had to navigate these moments delicately. Their dynamic was a continuous balancing act, respecting Reed's spontaneity while maintaining the coherence of the film. The tension wasn't always negative. In fact, it often pushed both men to deliver performances that were more nuanced and dynamic. Burt has admitted that many of their best scenes emerged from these creative frictions. A playful argument about dialogue delivery or stunt execution could spark inspiration, leading to moments of comedy and action that felt organic rather than scripted. This underlying competitiveness and mutual drive for excellence elevated their work, proving that a measure of conflict can sometimes fuel brilliance in collaborative art. Off-camera, their friendship also experienced ups and downs. Both men had strong personalities, and their careers demanded constant travel, public appearances, and promotional obligations. Time pressures, coupled with differing priorities, occasionally caused friction. Burt has recounted incidents where small misunderstandings snowballed due to the high-stress environment of Hollywood. However, these moments were balanced by mutual respect and shared laughter, reminders that their connection extended beyond professional necessity. Burt's reflections also shed light on the personal growth that emerged from their partnership. Working with Reed taught him patience, adaptability, and the importance of understanding others' perspectives. He realized that artistic collaboration is as much about compromise and empathy as it is about talent. Reed's generosity, humor, and devotion to his craft left a lasting impression, shaping Burt's approach to future collaborations and deepening his appreciation for the complexities of creative partnerships. As their careers progressed, Burt acknowledges that some differences remained unresolved, but he emphasizes that these disagreements were never personal. They were the natural outcome of two strong-willed, creative individuals navigating the pressures of Hollywood together. The challenges, he notes, were part of what made their joint projects memorable and enduring. Ultimately, of Burt Reynolds' story with Jerry Reed illustrates the delicate balance between friendship and professional collaboration. Their relationship was multi-layered, marked by tension, humor, competition, and mutual respect. The friction they experienced fueled some of their most memorable performances, proving that the path to greatness is rarely linear or devoid of conflict. Through candid reflections, Burt offers fans an intimate view into the realities behind the iconic duo's on-screen magic, revealing that artistry often thrives amid complexity, negotiation, and the occasional disagreement. Their story serves as a reminder that collaboration is a dance between creativity, ego, and compromise. Burt's honesty about his partnership with Reed humanizes two legendary figures, showing that even Hollywood icons must navigate interpersonal challenges, balance ambitions, and cultivate respect to achieve enduring success. Years after their final collaboration, Burt Reynolds reflected on his time with Jerry Reed with a mix of nostalgia, admiration, and honesty. Reed's passing left a void not only in Hollywood, but in Burt's personal and professional life. Their relationship, filled with both friction and camaraderie, had shaped some of the most iconic moments in cinema, and Burt's reflections reveal the depth and complexity of their bond. Burt emphasizes that Jerry Reed was more than a co-star. He was a creative force who challenged him in ways few others could. Reed's unpredictable style, quick wit, and musical genius pushed Burt to elevate his performances. The playful tension on set, arguing over lines, debating stunt execution, or improvising comedic moments was often the spark behind scenes that became legendary. Burt has described these moments as a testament to Reed's brilliance, a man who could transform challenges into art, pushing those around him to deliver their best. Beyond their professional relationship, Burt recalls the personal side of Reed. Despite their disagreements and the occasional clash of egos, Reed's generosity and loyalty were undeniable. He supported Burt through difficult moments, shared advice born from experience, and celebrated successes with genuine enthusiasm. Burt admits that their differences, rather than undermining their bond, added layers of authenticity to their friendship. They were two strong personalities learning to navigate life and work together, often imperfectly, but with mutual respect as the foundation. The passing of Jerry Reed prompted Burt to reflect not only on their time together, but also on the fleeting nature of life and success. He spoke candidly about the lessons learned, the importance of valuing collaboration, of embracing differences, and of recognizing the humanity behind the persona. Reed, he explained, was a reminder that even amidst fame, the most meaningful moments are those of connection, creativity, and shared passion. Burt also addressed the myths and misconceptions surrounding their partnership. Fans and media had often dramatized their disagreements, turning them into caricatures of rivalry. In truth, Burt says, most of their conflicts were professional, rooted in a shared commitment to excellence and a mutual desire to make each project memorable. The public rarely saw the laughter, mentorship, and camaraderie that balanced these tensions. Burt's willingness to break his silence offers a fuller, more nuanced picture of Reed not just as a co-star, but as a man, an artist, and a friend. Looking back, Burt sees their legacy as inseparable from the challenges they navigated together. The chemistry that captivated audiences on screen was forged through a combination of talent, conflict, compromise, and respect. Each high-speed chase, comedic beat, and musical flourish bore the mark of two creative minds pushing each other to greatness. Burt stresses that Reed's contributions to film, music, and the craft of performance deserve to be remembered in full. The brilliance, the humor, and the complexity. Ultimately, Burt Reynolds' reflections are a tribute to Jerry Reed's life and their shared journey. He honors Reed not only for his talent but for the lessons he imparted, that collaboration often involves friction, that true friendship can endure professional disagreements, and that artistry is enriched by the unique perspectives of those around us. Burt's candor provides fans with an intimate understanding of their partnership, reminding the world that behind every iconic performance lies a story of dedication, respect, and human connection. Through Burt's words, it is clear that Jerry Reed's legacy lives on not just in the films and music he left behind, but in the impact he had on those who worked with him. Burt Reynolds ensures that the truth of their bond, the challenges they faced, and the triumphs they shared will not be forgotten, preserving a vivid and heartfelt portrait of one of Hollywood's most memorable collaborations.